Hey everyone, welcome back to a new video. I thought today would be a good day to go over some SirenCon plans. Yes, in this video I'm going to be going over some SirenCon plans regarding mini sirens, real sirens, video plans, what and won't be going, etc. Now, excuse if my voice sounds all weird and if my speech is slow and whatever. I have a sore throat and I'm feeling kind of sick, so that's great. But anyways, gonna start with what's left of the Mini 3T, at least in this frame. When you have the pole stop right there, the triangle piece, the roof mount, and then the mounting legs. So story with that is these pieces are pretty much all garbage. So because Demetrius, the maker of the siren, he's nice enough to basically printing me new parts for the Mini 3T, such as stators, rotors, this roof mount piece, the legs, and a new pole stop. So, not sure when that'll be done. I'll post a video when I get the parts and actually assemble the siren. That'll also be when I get the dampers functional, so I will be able to run them off of my time-o-matic flasher, which you can see down there in my pile of garbage. But aside from that, Mini 3T, in terms of SirenCon, should be going as long as it's done. I don't know if it's actually going to be done, because it's been a pain in my ass ever since last year in, like, November. But that's what's left of it. It's just these three main parts of it right there. Now, the blower motor. Now, I probably will not be bringing that to SirenCon due to space and because it's... I know lots of people would probably pay good money for it, but... me personally, I'd rather keep it in case I were to get a Thunderbolt, and if the if I were to get one and then the blower motor's fucked, I have one right here and it's single phase. So that's, I guess that's a good thing to at least keep. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with it currently. It's just kind of, in this state. I haven't worked on it in like over a month or so. So I still need to figure out its junction box issues. There's like a screw that's stripped inside of the junction box. Got to drill that out still. But in terms of that, it's just been sitting here in my room. It's just been it occasionally. But yeah, that's really about that. Moving on to some other stuff. Moving on to up here. So apart all the junk, some hardware for the 3T and some hardware from the blower motor. Here's the mini Deco, the 1016 Deco. So with this one, the one that's from Justin Olson, I should be bringing this to SirenCon because aside from the fact it uses the little sheet of pole in there and it's not entirely accurate to the real thing, it should still be going. And the reason the shroud looks all weird like this is because I tried to bend this down and glue it to these little tab pieces, as you can see right there, to make it at least look a bit better. But it's supposed to look aged in terms of the paint, so it isn't like a factory fresh type of look. But other than that, it still looks really good for being an old model built in 2022. But yeah, Siren should be going to SirenCon. It still runs and all that. Spins a little bit. But yeah, that's really it for that 1016 right there. So yeah, on to the next. And the next one we have the 1015, as you can see right here. This one is supposed to be a new Red Arrow era, which they didn't really have a name for them at the time because this is when Ted Deco passed away and they sold the company over. So it's more referred to as a new Red Arrow Model 3 because that's what the motor cover is designed off of, a 3 horsepower model. So you can just call it a new Red Arrow Model 3 or whatever. But in other words, it's a 1015 Deco. But this one should also be going to SirenCon, not only because it's an older one. I feel like people would actually enjoy to see it. Plus, they're not big at all. This one's about 8 inches tall. I think that one over there is about 12, 13 inches tall. I haven't measured. But I know this one's 8 inches tall, so it's not big at all, about 4 inches wide. Again, uses a shade of pole motor to run the siren, which, either way, both this and the 1016 were built around the same time, so, it's whatever. But, in other words, they should be going to SirenCon, so, Yeah, both run and all that. But moving on to the 2T22s, as you can see behind them. Now, I'm not sure if I actually want to bring the older core, which I brought last year, the red one. But I am kind of wanting to bring the American colored one, or the newer core, if you want to refer to it as that. But Demetrius is also wanting to print a new temporal rotor for it, because his original one that's in there isn't like, I don't know how to refer to it as, like, it's just not perfect. And plus, this thing doesn't actually reach a high enough pitch as to the original. So when he sends me the new one, I'm probably gonna make sure it's balanced in there, and then I'm not gonna weight the 10 port, because the 10 port right now is weighted as well as the 12, so that's probably why it has a lower pitch, is because of the weight. So I'm gonna leave the 10 port unweighted, even though when this thing was originally made for me, only the 10 was weighted, not the 12, but that shouldn't affect RPM very much. It's just 2 more dowel pins in the 12, but so that should be going to SirenCon when I get the new rotor for it. Hopefully it'll sound better, because the rotor is actually more designed realistically to the actual 10 port, so that's pretty nice. So yeah, that's pretty much for that one. Now the old one, I'm not sure, because I brought it last year and ran it, so if I don't have enough space, I'm not bringing it, but if I do, then I should bring it, or probably will be bringing it. And if they do mini sirens again, in the front, behind the caution tape, I will probably just have all my sirens in a little group. And then I'll probably do them one at a time. I'll line them up after it's my turn, so I'll line them up and then sound them off one at a time for people that want to get video, because last year the mini sirens was crowded as fuck and you couldn't get videos at all. So me personally, I'm not doing a I'm not doing a mini sirens video. I'll leave that to other people and their BTS stuff. I might do a BTS on my my 405, my CX 405, that camera right there. So you should see at least some video clips. Maybe I'll do a short or something of the mini sirens. So yeah, but yeah, like I was saying, the mini sirens last year was very crowded, and most people were actually upset because you could not get a video of the mini sirens, because it was crowded as hell and people couldn't get any videos. So I will be sure to line them up on the barrier where the mini sirens will be. Have them in my own designated area, kind of in the middle of all of it, so it's not in the corner where my red one was last year. So people like from the far ends, if they want to get a video, they can at least get a video. So it'll be kind of in the middle. And they'll all be on a line too, so you can at least see them and such. Because I'll probably have the Decos, or I'll probably do my Eons first, and then the Mini 3T, and then the Decos. I'm not sure. I'll have to figure that out. But that's really it for the 2T22s. Again, that one should be going. I'm not sure about that one. Probably not. But anyways, moving on to the Eon Cyclone down here. Now this one, excuse the bag, this one has just been sitting down here for a little bit of time, because I have a bunch of crap. I need to organize my room still. But this one, I'm pretty sure I'm going to bring it. I actually did bring this and the newer core last year, but the story was that was at the time when the Eon 10 port was broken and this thing had a warped stator. So that was also when this thing had the Maytag on it, on the motor core in there, before I had the replacement motor core, which is currently in there, right there. You probably can see it, the middle piece right there. But the Cyclone had the warped stator, so I mean, the rotor and everything like spun in there, but I didn't want to bring it out because it was a complete shit pile and didn't even look like a Cyclone. It had like the 2T22 motor on it, like motor covers, but it had the Eon Cyclone stator and rotor in there, which looks completely weird, and I didn't want to bring it out because of that. So this upcoming year, though, I am going to keep the Cyclone like this, so you'll at least see the Eon Cyclone as is, and it will be sounded like this too. I would want to do pulse on it, like, I mean, that would be cool, but to do so, the Mini 3T intakes are, I mean, even though we'll have the coated intakes on the Mini 3T, I don't want to take the intake off, like the 10-port one, and then throw it on the Cyclone, because that not only takes time. If I was going to do that, I might as well keep it like that the whole time. So I'm probably not going to end up doing that, but I'll still bring the Cyclone and sound it off with its, I can spin it around, the SWS logo on it, which I put on there last year. But yeah, the Cyclone should be going. And now the siren that I've completely forgotten about behind my tripods and this bag is the 12-volt siren. Now, the story on this one, short story actually, is that the original motor I had on this thing, I tried taking apart, which you can kind of see right here, the original motor. I tried taking that apart because it was making not good sounds and smells and whatever, and couldn't get it back together. So I had to buy a new one, which was another $60. So I spent 120, 130 bucks just on those two motors alone, which was absolutely fucking great. So I don't know if I'll bring that one. I probably will, but the only thing is I'll have to get another 12-volt power supply, because I have my other one over there that was originally meant for the 12-volt siren for the flasher for the solenoids. So not sure if I'll get a new one or just unscrew that one and then use it for the 12-volt siren. But yeah, the 12-volt siren does spin and everything. Probably can barely see, but it does spin and all everything, so it should be going. But I did get that one last year. Max sold it to me, but that was when I had the original motor, and the original motor was fucked and screwed. So now that it has a replacement motor, it'll actually run. This smaller motor right here does get it going, but it's just a little bit slower than the bigger one, which the listing I bought from just wasn't very consistent with the motor types, so that sucks, but it's fine. I mean, you can still get the same idea. Plus, the original motor looked smaller like that, so I guess it's a little more realistic to what it probably would have sounded like, because it's literally just 6-port running, I don't know, like 5,000 some RPM. But anyways, that's basically it for the mini sirens in my room. Moving on now to my STH10, so onto that. And here we are, there's the STH10. Now, I know I've said this before, and I'll say it again, the STH itself, like the motor, stator, intake cone, and the pull stop, triangle piece, and then all of these over here, they are not going. But the thing, I think I said this before, but I'll say it again, I will be bringing the rotor, though, for rotor signatures. So if you're going, and if this is said once and it'll be said the last time, if you are going to SirenCon on Friday, May 30th, the day before, rotor signatures will be open, and it will be open in the afternoon or whenever I arrive. So if you see someone sitting in a chair with an STH10 rotor in front of them with a Sharpie, that's most likely me. So if you see, you know, this rotor and it's turned around with signatures on it, that's probably me. Yeah, so that's pretty neat. The STH on its own, though, still needs to be finished and finalized. I need to redo the paint on the stator and the motor still. But yeah, even if I made an update video or not, here's the intake cone, or just intake. Right there, it's all black and stuff. That's pretty nice. And there's the pull stop right there. And then over here, like I showed, the horns and the legs right there. So that's pretty nice. Nice glossy finish on the red parts, and a matte kind of, you know, satin job on the black pieces. But yeah, like I said, STH signatures will be rotor signatures will be open on Friday, the day before. I will not be doing them on the main day of the event because there's probably gonna be so many people, and I don't feel like having a group of people sitting in front of my STH rotor waiting to sign it. I don't want to do that. So they will be open Friday only. And if the one thing and one rule is no inappropriate drawings, like you can write a little smiley face or a heart or something next to your name, but inappropriate pictures like a dildo or something are not permitted on this thing. Once someone does that, it will be permanently removed, or the drawing will be removed, and rotor signatures will be closed. Like, don't ruin it for everyone. But yeah, aside from that, rotor is going. But everything else is not. But yeah, everything aside from that, the motor and bearings, everything are doing good. Took the motor apart after New Year's, or before New Year's, I should say, and put some white lithium grease in there. So it spins very nicely. I mean, it spun nicely before, but it spins even better now that it has grease in there. Not that the grease gets in the bearings, it just helps it spin. But yeah, quick little hand spin. But yeah, that's the STH10 and SirenCon updates. So yeah, but aside from siren stuff, stuff on my finger from the rotor. But aside from that, actually getting there type of plans is gonna be different this year. So what I plan to do is actually get on the road Wednesday so we can get to Minneapolis a day before, unlike last year, because we left the house on Thursday last year. I plan to leave on Wednesday, the day before, and then leave Minneapolis on Thursday and get to Rhinelander Thursday, and then reserve the rest of Thursday for exploring the area, because last year we weren't able to do that because we left so late. But and then of course Friday go up to the actual SirenCon and camp area, wait for sirens to arrive, open rotor signatures probably around like 2 p.m. maybe, I don't know, around noon. But yeah, signatures for that thing will probably be open for like an hour. As soon as I have enough to fill up the back, that'll probably be when I end up closing signatures. But yeah, that's pretty much it for that. Like I said, I am going to SirenCon, so as long as I have enough space, everything should be going, aside from the STH core and stuff like that. But that's pretty much it for this little update video for SirenCon and what's going and what's not. So that's basically it for this video. Peace out.